right. So I experienced something for the first time in my life that I had heard about, but I didn't actually ever think was true. I experienced a Christmas hangover. I had heard about it. A Christmas hangover is when you wake up the day after Christmas and everything hurts a little and you don't want to get out of bed and you just kind of like lay there and you're like, how much longer can my kids play with their new toys before I actually have to get out of bed? That is a Christmas hangover. Making magic happen, making sure that gifts are bought for everyone in your family and that they're wrapped and that they have bows on them and all the pretty things, and then making sure that the church feels like something special, that gets a little bit of that Christmas story into a building where Jesus is with all of us. So I kind of can see how Joseph is feeling. He experienced Christmas morning. The angels are singing, the shepherds are kneeling, wise men are coming, the lights are twinkling, the carols are being sung. Everything feels perfect. It's almost like a holy divine Hallmark movie, if you may. But what happens after the credits roll? What comes next when the celebration starts to fade and real life crashes in? That's where Matthew picks up in the story in chapter 2. We often stop at the manger, but Matthew reminds us that the Christmas story doesn't end there. After the joy comes uncertainty. After the celebration comes movement, forced movement, in fact. Joseph, Mary, and Jesus are thrust into a whirlwind of dreams, danger, and displacement. King Herod is on a massacre, and the Holy Family becomes refugees overnight. Yet, woven through this chaotic chapter is a profound truth. Even when life feels interrupted, unsafe, unclear, God is still at work. He is guiding, he is protecting, he is fulfilling his promises. And so today we're going to see how God comes in the in-between, those messy spaces between what was and what will be. So if you're in this season of transition or just that nagging sense of what now, we're going to see how God comes in and works in that what now. So I didn't realize this until yesterday, that today is the last Sunday of the year. So I was thinking back, over the year, and all of it has been pretty awesome, I will say, for the most part. But a lot of times, if you really sit to think about it, you're like, man, I really struggled with this year, or that did not go to plan this year. So we're going to see how God guides us when sometimes our path changes. In verse 13 through 15, it says, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream. Get up and go. Joseph had every right and reason to think that the hard part was over. Surprise pregnancy, having to go to get for the census, the birth in a manger, like all those things probably were not on his bingo card for that year. But the birth in Bethlehem, the angelic visits, was all leading up to the birth of Christ. But God's plan isn't always a straight line. In this one, it was a detour around danger. But God's biggest picture was fulfilling his prophecy of out of Egypt, I called my son. Sometimes God leads us in unexpected directions. Maybe it's a change that you didn't want, or a delay that you don't understand. A lot of us can wait years for a dream or years for a prayer. I know one of my biggest prayers, it's been going on for about close to 20 years now. And it hasn't been fulfilled in the way that I think or thought that it would be fulfilled, but God is still very much working. And Joseph receives this dream, and he obeys immediately. There's no arguing. There's no waiting for a second opinion. He trusts that God sees what he cannot see. When your life takes a turn you didn't expect, it doesn't mean that God has left you. It may mean he's guiding you somewhere safer, somewhere deeper, and somewhere stronger. Because a lot of the times, like I said earlier, life gives us something that's not on our bingo card. You're like, wait a second, this is not how I expected this to go at all. But that movement of God is something that we sometimes cannot see. So take heart and know that there's a plan and purpose for everything. Second point is God is present even in hard places. Moving to verses 15 through 18, the family arrives in Egypt. It's a foreign land, far from home. And Egypt was not a vacation spot. It was exile, it was unfamiliar, and it was uncomfortable. But here's the miracle in that. God was there in Egypt. This passage reminds us that God's presence isn't limited to holy places. He walks with us even in exile, like seasons that you feel alien in your own body. No location is beyond God's care. Jesus himself begins life as a refugee, fleeing violence, experiencing displacement, fear, and uncertainty. If the Son of God knows what it's like to be uprooted, then he surely understands our struggles. It's a reminder that God specializes in meeting us in the in-between. If you feel like you don't belong somewhere, like I said, sometimes in your own body, there are times when I didn't feel right in my own body, in my thoughts, but God is there. There's no hard place where God can't meet you. And he's not waiting for you to get it all together. He's right here sustaining you. Third point is God turns pain into promises. In verses 19 through 21, there's another dream. The danger has passed, but Matthew connects it all to prophecy, showing that what looks like chaos is not the end. Herod's rage fulfills Jeremiah's words about sorrow, yet it was all part of God's redemptive arc. What feels broken is not beyond redemption. God doesn't ignore suffering, and he doesn't waste it either. He turns pain into promise, weaving even the darkest threads into his tapestry. And if you guys have ever seen a tapestry, thank you. You know that the backside is chaotic. All the strings are there. All the yarn is all over the place. It's colors all mixed together. It's all jumbled. It is like, what are they creating? But then you flip it around and it's perfect. It's beautiful. Every place, every string has a place, and they all come together to make this beautiful picture. In your life, there could be a lot of things that feel out of place. Maybe it's a job that you wanted that you didn't get. Maybe it's heartbreak. Maybe it's waiting for a family member to turn to Christ. But your story is still being written. God can turn what was meant to harm into something that strengthens your faith and shapes your future. As we go into the new year, we can think about sometimes things that didn't make sense in 2025. But we may see fulfillment in 2026 or in 2036. Who knows? Because it's that waiting. It's that waiting for God in the in-between time. Our fourth point is God brings us forward, not backwards. In verses 22 to 23, God calls Joseph to move yet again, but not back to Judea, but to Nazareth, an ordinary town in Galilee. It wasn't where they had started, but where God had prepared, fulfilling yet another prophecy where it says, he will be called a Nazarene. Sometimes God doesn't return us to what was familiar. Instead, he leads us into who we are becoming. Jesus grows up in Nazareth, an unremarkable place, showing us that God does extraordinary work through ordinary lives. No spotlight is needed, just faithfulness. You don't need to be from the right place. You don't need to be in the right place or have a perfect story. God can use your life exactly as it is. All the detours and all. And sometimes I think about the good old days. David and I just being married, living in a 600 square foot, one bedroom apartment with old furniture and things that he had found at, I wouldn't even say garage sales, I would say the side of the road. But thinking back to just the two of us makes my heart so happy. And I can think now, 10 years later, where we are, not where I thought we would be, but it is so beautiful to see how every step that we've taken, God has led us into something special. So if you're in this weird in-between state, if you're in between decisions, if you don't like something that's going on right now, ask God to show you the forward path that he's preparing. As we wrap up Matthew 2:13 through 23, God guides us when the path changes. He stays with us in hard places. He turns pain into promise, and he always moves us forward, not backward. If you're in a season of waiting, uncertainty, or transition, take heart. The same God who protected Jesus from Herod's sword is watching over you. The same God who guided Joseph through dreams is guiding your steps, even if you cannot see the full map yet.